many people. For me, though, and trading in that method, I just feel like you're risking more, right? You're risking more with a higher potential downside, right? So if it's at 10 and we're buying it at 10, but we was buying it at 7, we're risking 30% more in the down. So whatever. Back to this INTZ. This is, I believe this is yesterday, the last day the market was open or whatever. So I didn't play this, like I told you. Around the holidays, I'm really picky in what I want to mess with nowadays. But that definitely spiked real nice. It had news. I think it was continuing. This was mine. So I went back and, broke it down. Yeah, so this pattern can get pretty tricky, though. You know what I mean? In the morning and stuff like that. Looking at it pre-market, it ended up spiking. I mean, what did it go from 40 cent all the way to 2? That's what, 500%. I was completely out of it up there, as you see. I think my highest sale was like maybe 180 or 170. I don't know. Those candles, like I always say, they don't represent exactly where you sold. They just represent that you sold into that candle, if that makes sense. So GTI, former runner, I believe. I didn't touch this, but it did spike nice. Let's see. Hollow. They had that crazy. I'm going to make a video on that. They probably had one of the craziest runs last year. They went from, 10 cent to $50, right? They ended up squeezing in aftermarket. Now, this is obviously way later in the year. It's crazy because I feel like they went earlier the year, but they ended up spiking, going from the ones up to 10 again. So 1,000% move over the course of days, whereas though the first one, it was the course of one day, right? That's a gem too. OPTT, nice run on this. 40 cents all the way up to the 150, so 300% move, roughly. I didn't end up touching it this day, but you see that drop is crazy. But it did put in a nice move before that yesterday. This is a former runner as well. I believe a little bit of a higher float. I would have to check the float, but I definitely think it's a higher float than some of these. BDMD, yeah, I had already went over this. This ran on news. Crazy volume, good move. The volume just kept coming in there. ONCO, this was a nice play too. I don't know, it went up to 2. I think it came from, I know it was in the 50 cent range or something like that, I believe. I'll have to go back and check that. But that was a nice move. APM, former runner. If I would have traded today, let me not go into all that. But this is a decent setup. I'll say that. APM, it had a couple moves, a couple scalps you could have took. VRME, high float, former runner. So I'll put this video up just to keep going in on the subject. So yeah, like it's December and you see I made that video before. I'm going to fix the audio and try to re-record over it. But as you see, it's like these stocks are going, instead of going 100%, 200%, it's just constantly 500, 1,000, 900%. So that's why I'm strapping up to buy. You know what I mean? And being more aggressive, if that makes sense.